Thank you. And now a question from Mike Dennison to Representative Rehberg.
Congressman Rehberg, let's keep talking about taxes. You just mentioned the federal estate tax a few minutes ago, or what you call the death tax, and your wish to repeal it. As you know, the current tax does not apply to any inheritance income less than $10 million. And also, a family farm and ranch can do some prudent estate planning, usually avoid this tax. So with the nation facing mounting federal debt, why is it a priority for you to cut the income taxes on the few folks inheriting more than $10 million?
Well, first of all, I would correct your numbers, because at the end of this year it goes back to $1 million and it goes up to 55%. But if you're going to try and enrich yourself on the inheritance, you're going to have the opportunity to pay your fair share, because you're either going to pay a capital gains tax or an income tax. Why does the federal government need or believe it's necessary to cut into the ability of a family to put a business together, a working business that generates revenue, tax revenue, for their public officials? Why do they feel it's necessary? It's not necessary. It's an insidious tax that hurts small business, and it doesn't matter whether it's 10% or 55%, 10 million or 1 million. It's not necessary, it's not right, it's not good tax policy, and it should be eliminated.
Senator Tester.
Well, if you take a look at the fiscal condition we have in this country right now, we have to make choices. My choice is to make sure that we make that $5 million per person, $10 million per couple, 35% tax rate, permanent, have it indexed. You got a bill to do exactly that, so it doesn't drop back. But what's really important, what is really important with inheritance tax, with the death tax, is that it's made permanent. It's bounced all over the place. It's $5 million one day, it's $1 million the next, it's $2.5 million the next, it's $700,000 the next, and it's been bouncing all over. You cannot plan for that. If it's made permanent at $5 million and 10, people can plan for it. People in agriculture can plan for it. Small businesses can plan for it. They can buy life insurance if they're over that $10 million figure, and it makes sense for them to do it. But it's got to be made permanent, and I think 5 and 10 is a sweet spot. It exempts almost every, I would say every, but I can't say that unequivocally, but almost every farm and ranch in this state.
Representative Rehberg, 30 seconds.
We don't have a tax problem in this country, we have a spending problem. And if you listen to what he's suggesting that we need to continue a tax on the death of a loved one to feed a government that's out of control. Why don't we control government first? Why don't we come to the realization that we do need permanency in our tax structure? That is what I support. I believe that we should put into permanent effect the tax relief of 2001 and 3. I believe that the death tax should be zero. Why? Because it gives certainty, so we know. And that's the biggest thing as I hear, as I travel around Montana, is they don't know what their taxes are going to be. They don't know the effect of Obamacare on them. Is it going to cost them more to provide health insurance for their employee? Is the employee possibly going to lose their health care coverage from their employer? The whole uncertainty is created by this fiscal cliff because they have backed us into a spending corner that is going to be so hard to dig our way back out of.
Thank you,
now is the time.
Time's up. Now a question from Tom Lutey to Senator Tester.
Yes, Senator. In April of 2011, you removed wolves from the federal endangered species list in 5 states, including Montana, by placing a rider on a must-pass federal budget bill. The rider banned the public from challenging wolf delistings. The move was decried by environmentalists as a self-interested political move to supplant the Endangered Species Act. And some fear it opened the door for other lawmakers to deny Endangered Species Act protections to politically targeted animals in their states. What do you tell Montanans who voted for you in 2006 but opposed your actions to delist wolves?
Well, there was a recovery effort on wolves, and it worked. We ought to be doing backflips over that. They're recovered. Now we need to manage them. And they no longer need to be on the endangered species list. They are recovered. So let's manage them like we manage elk and deer and bighorn sheep and everything else that's out there in our wildlife. Look, it took a lot of work to get this done. There were a lot of folks out there, the administration being one, that really didn't want to see this happen. But we worked, and we worked together with folks on both sides of the aisle. We worked with conservationists that understood that wolves were recovered, and we worked with folks in the livestock industry and recreationalist hunters out there, and this was the right thing to do. It's fine to make decisions, but you need to go back and monitor those decisions. It really goes back to Jackie's question on tax earmarks. We ought to go back and monitor and see which ones aren't doing right. We went back and monitored The wolves were on the endangered species list, they were covered, it's time to manage them. And we got that done by working with a Republican by the name of Mike Simpson out of Idaho.
Representative Rehberg, 1 minute.
The wolf recovery is a perfect example of what's wrong with the Endangered Species Act. And I've worked since 2005 when we passed legislation out of the House of Representatives to reform the Endangered Species Act, so we would know what the goalposts were, what the end zone was, so we'd have finality, so we would know when we recovered a species it would be delisted. This was not a decision made by the Obama administration that changed it and made it necessary. It was a judge in Missouri